My dad got hit with an artillery shell on the 4th of July. This was our first summer in Kentucky. So it was like early 2000s. I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. And we did the whole shebang for this 4th of July. We had some family friends split the fireworks fund with us. My dad and his buddy drove us over the river to Indiana because fireworks weren't legal at the time in Kentucky. And it was really cool. And they had this whole setup planned out. We lived on 2 acres and it's pretty much all up and down hill. Like there's a flat spot and then it goes straight down the hill. So they set a table up nice and level like halfway down the hill so you could have a cool fireworks display. And they bought, a couple $100 worth of fireworks. They're like halfway through lighting off the big display fireworks, and they were letting the kids come down and light them off every couple fireworks. It was like me and my buddies down there at one point, and then some of our younger siblings would be down there. And I remember, like I said, like halfway through, I remember being up at the top of the hill. I was sitting with my grandparents and my buddies, and there was one of our younger siblings down the hill with them. They bought big ass fireworks, like the big artillery shells. And they were on these display rockets it was shaped like a big supersized bottle rocket, and it had the artillery shell fireworks inside of them. And I don't know what happened. Like I said, we weren't down there, but you could see, it was dark, but you could see like the outline of who was down there working on setting up the fireworks and lighting them off or whatever. You see them light something, you can kind of see the wick going up, and then you just see both dads that were setting off the fireworks running in opposite directions, like as hard as they could. And you see this big bottle rocket, and it goes like 2 inches in the air and shoots straight across the yard, hit off something, shoot a few more feet up in the air, and explode. We were all like, holy crap, like, was it a dud, or like, did something happen? Like, what is going on? And I remember me and my buddies went running down there, and obviously the moms were very concerned about their husbands or whatever, and we get down there. My dad's like walking over, like limping, holding his side. They had flashlights on him. My dad's got this monster welt like right on the side of his stomach. And we were like, what happened? He said that they were down there. And I don't remember if it was the table from shooting off all the previous fireworks had been pushed off balance, or they said one of the younger kids down there accidentally knocked the firework over when they lit it. But they didn't realize it till like halfway through that it had fallen over. So they started running in the opposite directions. And that rocket shot it was laying on its side. That rocket was laying on its side, shoots full speed, like 20 feet, drills my dad right in the side of his stomach, and then shot up in the air. So my dad's like yelling because he can't hear anything. And he's like, oh man, I got hit right in the side. And he's like holding his stomach. He had like this big ass welt that was there for like a week or two afterwards, but it was just one of the funniest things to witness as a kid. Because especially nowadays, like I feel like so many people you hear, Joe Rogan had a clip that went really viral, like your perception of your dad changes at a certain point where you realize like, oh, he's not a superhero, he's not this untouchable human being, like whatever the Joe Rogan quote was. I don't know exactly what it was. But like for me, my dad's always just kind of been him. Like my dad is kind of the Timothy Neutron meme from all the social media videos. Like my dad to this day still goes and outbenches us at the gym. I've seen shit like that, like taking a bottle rocket, taking an artillery shell to the chest, and like getting up and just kind of walking it off. Like I don't know. Like for me, I never really had that moment where I was like, wow, my dad's not awesome. And I know that that's like a really rare instance, and I don't take that for granted, to have a good father. And I guess the reason I'm saying it is because like I know not everybody has like a good male role model in their family. But my suggestion to everyone out there, if you don't have that, is if you don't think you have it in your immediate family, you don't have a father figure in your life, like just find somebody who you look at and go, I like the way that he operates, or I like the way he interacts with people. I like the lifestyle he's living. And I don't just mean from like a materialistic or success standpoint. I mean, find somebody who you can really model your day-to-day behavior and habits off of. Like, I like the way that dude rolls, or I like the way he talks. I like the energy he brings to the table. I like his morals. I like his values. And it's got to be somebody you actually know. Like all these people you see on the internet nowadays, you don't really know what their lifestyle is. Like you don't really know what they're like as a person. You know what you see. Even me, like you don't really know who I am as a person. You know what I talk about. You don't know what my daily habits are or anything like that. And that's something that I'm really thankful for. I actually attribute that to my dad more than anybody is like I know nowadays it feels like everybody's becoming famous on the internet. And that's cool. But my biggest issue with all the people who I see having, and I'm not talking like big viral, like Mr. Beast type level. I'm talking people who are like me, like at 100K ish followers on any platform, is they sell out. And then it's all about just making videos that are ad based or for money or products or material things. And I'm like, to me, that is just such a sellout thing to do. And the reason I say I attribute like that perspective to my father is because I remember my entire life growing up as like me and my dad would always look at this person, whether it was an athlete or a celebrity that we watched kind of come up from like like a low level name to like a big celebrity presence or something like that. And it's like, man, me and my dad always loved pointing out like, look at the work ethic, look at the dedication, look how humble they are. And then they lose that once they get to a certain point of fame, and it just becomes this like really toxic human being that you're like, oh, I lost a lot of respect for that person. And that's my biggest thing is like, for me to be on here creating social media content, I'm only creating the content for the people who want to follow and enjoy it. I'm not out here to make a video like, oh, and this is sponsored by so and so, or this is that. Like, to me, you're not a true social media creator if all you're doing is working your way to a certain point where you have enough clout, fame, or followers to just start making videos for ads. That ain't my vibe. To me, I want to earn a genuine following where the only money I'm making is actually based off like the views and interactions I'm getting from other social media users, because that to me is being genuinely good enough at your craft to have success in it. And maybe that's stubborn, maybe that's ignorant, but for me, that's just keeping it real. Like if I sell out and start accepting all the ads and stuff and changing my video content just so I can sell stuff, then that's not genuine. That's not a true content creator. That's or an influencer, whatever the hell they're called nowadays. That's just selling out for a brand or a name or a company. Fuck that. I don't want to be that person. And that's something that like I don't care if it takes me 100 years or I go, if I die before I actually make some serious money on social media. It's enough to like sustain me and the people I want to take care of, or use it for my movie script projects or whatever it is. Like I just don't want to sell out and be fake to make that. And to me, that's what you see a lot of. That's like the new trend nowadays on social media is like get big enough to where you can just start getting all these commercial endorsements and ads and just sell out to them. I have all the numbers to do that stuff. I'm just choosing not to do that, because why would I sell out and, really just get fake and materialistic instead of just doing what I've been doing from the very beginning? It's not a lack of respect for people who do that or succeed in doing that. But for me, it's just not genuine. Like, if your only goal is to get to a certain amount of numbers where you can get a bunch of ads and and sponsorships where you sell out, then what's the point of like even doing it anymore? Like if you're gonna completely change your content and your videos to just be like, oh, and I'm wearing Fabletics, or and I got this drink from so and so, it's like that to me is just fucking fake. It'd be one thing if you like just kept your content original. I do see some people, and I'll even say, like, I do see some content creators who keep a balance of it. Like Two Turnt Tony, I feel like for the most part, he's still exactly who he was when he started. Outside of the porn star stuff, which I don't necessarily think is phenomenal. But I mean, for the most part, even the ad videos he makes, he's at least consistent with who he has been from the very beginning. And that to me is that's really important, especially if you are trying to do the social media thing. Like, I want to see that the clout and the fame and the recognition didn't get to you. I want to see that you're the same person you were when you started to where you finished. And that doesn't mean that like you're not going to develop and grow as a person. Like that's just life in general. But I just hate when you see people totally sell out and change who they are just to make money. Like I never want to be a sellout or a clout chaser just for money or paycheck. It's just not what it's about for me. Like, hell yeah, I want to drive a Lambo someday, but I want to feel like I earned it on my own versus like, oh, I sold out for sponsorships or ads. So just my philosophy. The reason I say that is I'm just thankful for watching my dad kind of in his professional career and his personal life, like one thing that I have like the ultimate amount of respect for my dad is like he never sold out. If he didn't feel like he was being appreciated or treated right, whether it was a job or a relationship with another person, like what friendship, like whatever it was with my dad, he never sold out. Like he always was like, I'm just gonna go find another place where I fit better because I deserve that for myself. Like I think that is the most courageous thing you can do as a person is just to believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and continue to pursue the things that you want in life that make you happy and you whole. Because if you're doing that, while it sounds selfish on the surface level, what you're really doing is following your heart, your gut instinct, like really what you want, regardless of what anybody thinks or says about you. And you're going and getting what you want out of your life. And in turn, by treating yourself with some love and doing what you really want to do in your heart of hearts, that's how you have the biggest, most positive impact on people in general. Everyone around you, everyone you come in contact with, because you're genuinely being yourself and doing what makes you feel fulfilled. So I would say that's like, as I sit here at 26 and aspiring, I guess you could say, YouTuber, social media person, like my dad has always been my biggest example for me as far as work ethic and just your dedication to something. Once you find what you want to do, just stick to it. Don't give up. Stay persistent. Like that. That's something that I 100% learned from my dad. It's just to, because like I think of my dad's story, and I'll save that for another day. But like my dad is the model of like, regardless of your circumstances, like to stay persistent and do what you got to do to get it done because you love it and you're passionate about it. So I don't know. That's just where this episode went. And like I said, I understand that to have a dad like that is a really big blessing. Like not everybody gets that. Like my dad didn't have a dad like that. But I would just recommend to anyone out there like to find the people who you look at and go, "Dang, like I don't know what it is about that dude, but like I like the way he operates. I aspire to be similar to that." And it doesn't mean that it's got to be like a career path or success or material things. Like I said, my dad's career path is in sales is completely different than what I'm trying to do. But it's the approach and the day to day and the way he goes about things that I wanted to model and have in my own career path. So just my recommendation is to just find a good role model. And it ain't got to be male. I know in today's world everything's like sexist or racist. So I'm just saying like then it ain't got to be a male. It ain't got to be your dad. Just find someone who's worth emulating or worth like actually following their day-to-day habits. So just my opinion. Find you a dude that can take an artillery shell to the chest and get up and laugh it off. Like I still to this day like there's that story. Like my dad just kind of got up. Everyone's like, "You good?" And a firework just basically shot at you and then blew up right over your head. Are you all good? My dad's like, "Oh yeah, it's cool. Let's just keep lighting off fireworks." So like I said, I hope everybody can find some half decent example of the type of person that they want to be, like my dad. So that's today's episode. Hope everybody's well. Dad, love you. Great story, and we'll be back with more episodes soon. Talk to the time. Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more. See no more. I was right around